Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Mac. Joined here, as usual, with my co-host with the most, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Kristen, how you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous because we're about to rock out today.
Can't
We
rock.
rock. Hell yeah.
But we are today's episode in celebration in a couple, actually in a week or so. By the
Yes.
time this podcast comes out, we are going to be getting the third Camp Rock movie, Camp Rock 3. So we decided to go back to 2008, which I've always said is the greatest year for cinema, and we decided to review Camp Rock and kind of seeing the difference between this movie, the one coming out, and the first one is kind of like, oh my gosh, like
It's
it's been so long.
16 years. I
Like
was in middle school when I came out. Oh
I was
my
in elementary
God.
school when this came out.
That's like my sister too. She was in elementary school. Oh, we're getting too old, Mac.
But also, this is special because this is episode 191 of the podcast. We are 9 more episodes away from episode 200.
Yeah. Mac and I are still, I think, working out the details of what we're going to do.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll remember what we did for 100 when we had all that big panel for Star Wars, which is
Oh
still
God.
my favorite episode, actually, to be honest with you. It's my all-time favorite episode.
That I remember just sitting in a spot where I was recording and I was like, oh my God.
But we're excited. We're excited. And if you didn't get a chance to check out our last episode, make sure you go check it out. We've sat in with Screen to Score, aka JR. We talked about the Odyssey. So I want to jump to go from the Odyssey to Camp Rock, but cinema is cinema,
It's
right?
cinema. It's cinema. Insert Martin Scorsese cinema, with the
but
hands.
but if that's all it, I think we can get straight right into the news, can we?
Yes.
All right, let's get right into the news.
This is CNN.
All right, so my first piece of news is kind of a little tie back around. Kristen, remember a few months ago we got a chance to sit down with the director and the star of the movie The Furious?
Yes.
So The Furious has been just all over the place, making the rounds online and even theaters. It's gotten high praise, great critic scores, great reviewed well, and everything like that. And even James Gunn praising it one of the best movies of the year. This comes in a screenwritten article by Nick Bythrow. He says that this is a strong action movie, is one of the best, and is getting a major new release as well too. It's going to be with a 4K collector's edition released by Lionsgate on August 11th.
Ooh.
These features a hand-drawn comic-inspired cover of the protagonist fighting a group of gang members. This item also includes a number of special features, including a storm of carnage creating the Furious in a 5-man brawl. There's also deleted scenes alongside the film's theatrical trailer, which can be watched among other bonus content collector's editions provides. Like I said, this was directed by Kenji Tananaki, stars Z Mule and as Wang Wai, a mute everyman who battles a criminal empire after they kidnap his daughter. He teams up with Joe Talisman's Davin, a journalist who was looking for his wife, who was also taken. And like we mentioned, we got to chance to talk with was it Joe Talisman and director Kenji.
Yes, we did.
And this movie is currently sitting at a 98% Rotten Tomatoes. And like we mentioned, we love this movie. It reminded me of the Raid.
Yes, and I acknowledge that, which whatchamacallit was in.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, The Furious is getting a lot of good praise. What do you think about that?
I'm happy to see it's getting its flowers. I think it was one of the best action movies so far in 2026. I know it was shown at TIFF last year, so a lot of good stuff comes from TIFF, and I'm excited to see what Kenji is going to be working on next. I know he will certainly have an audience. I think the movie overall is so superb. So I think just for the fun and just to say, we got to talk to, the Furious team. I think I want to get this on 4K. So yeah.
Nice. What's your next piece of news? Is this something regarding breaking news that happened today about certain X-Men?
Yes, here we go. This comes from Deadline, published by Justin Kroll. Here we go. X-Men Kit Connor eyed for Cyclops role in upcoming Marvel Studios pick. All right, again, coming from Deadline. After the news that Samara Weaving was in the line for Emma Frost's role in the upcoming X-Men movie, it is now looks like Marvel Studios has found its Scott Summers. Source tells Deadline that Kit Connor is the choice for the mutant Cyclops.
Go ahead, finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Before you ask, no, I don't know who Kit Connors is. I've only seen one movie
We
of
can
his.
go into it. We
And
can get into it.
that was Warfare.
He's great in Warfare. Similar to Weeding's situation, where director Jake Shire and Marvel president Kevin Feige met with a number of candidates, sources say that the studio ultimately landed on Connor last week to become the latest actor to don the Cyclops visor. Marvel and reps for Connor could not reach for comment on the casting. So, and then it just goes into some other stuff. There is some casting news that has been announced that, like, what was stated in the article, that Emma Frost has been casted already, is going to be played by the incredible Samara Weaving. And then recently, if you watch Spider-Man Brand New Day, not naming anything, but there's
the worst kept secret, we all know.
Yes, everybody knew. I knew. I felt like when my husband and I saw it last week, he had no idea. I knew. Our friend who came with us knew. So we, like, the two of us knew, like, yeah. But my husband was like, who?
But it seems like with this Kit Connor news, it really does seem like they are really on top of this X-Men. I know this is what Feige's big goal has been for years, to get the X-Men into the MCU, and it really seems like that he's really on top of it. Like I think they've said they've been actually doing casting a lot for the last 6 months. Like for
which
months
is good.
now. So it really seems like they're really on top of it. You know, we already got a slate for 2028. We got Ghost Rider, X-Men, possibly Black Panther 3. So it looks like they're really playing everything out. I wouldn't be surprised why they get this lineup all announced before Doomsday comes out. So that way, with the original X-Men 9, the new Doomsday movie, we have the new X-Men to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Just a heads up, Kit Connor, very good actor. He's been in films like Warfare. I really loved him in that movie. I'm gonna say I love that ensemble in Warfare. So superb. He was also in films like Rocket Man, Ready Player One, The Mercy.
Wait,
He's
who was he in Ready Player One?
He was
he the main guy?
The Red Kid. If you look him up, that's what comes up. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it.
I don't see him in this.
Do you want me to put in the
Kit
Connor IMDb in the chat?
Let's see, Kit Connor. There's Red Kid. Oh, it's just a random background character. Okay.
Yeah. But he's also known for The Wild Robot, Brightville,
okay,
which is one of my favorite films, and then he's also known for Heartstopper, which is the big Netflix series. They just recently came out with the TV movie that wraps up everything.
Clockstoppers.
Clockstoppers, that's a movie I haven't heard in a long time.
I don't know. I was thinking about I thought about doing a podcast where we talk about early 2000s kids movies, because I really want to talk about. I don't know. I'm in the mood to talk about, like, Catch That Kid, Agent Cody Banks.
We should do that.
Like stuff like that. But that's another discussion.
We gotta put that on the books, Mac. Oh my god, I love Agent Cody Banks.
But if you vouch for Kit Connors, you know, maybe he'll be a good Scott Summers. I know people wanted Cooper Hoffman to play him.
Yeah, there was like some people in the comments saying stuff, in the chat saying about him, and I was like, I don't know, maybe he's good. I think he might be a good fit. Like, I didn't really go too crazy for the kid. I was just like, I just want a good actor. As long as he can deliver a good Cyclops, then fine. I really don't have a preference. Exactly. So yeah. So anyways, your next piece of news?
All right, so my final piece of news topic. This is a movie that people pretty much forget that we're still getting this year, and that's David O. Russell's Madden movie on Amazon.
Oh, right.
Played by Nicolas Cage, will be playing John Madden. It has gotten an earlier release date. So originally, it was supposed to release December of this year, but then it has now been moved up to November 18th.
Okay.
Actually, no, it was supposed to be late November, but I got moved up earlier. November 18th. So, like I mentioned, it's gonna have Christian Bale as the Raiders owner, who was the Raiders owner for 39 years, as Al Davis, and we have Catherine Hahn as John Madden's wife, Sienna Miller as Carol Davis, Al Davis's wife Joel Murray as Pat Summerall, John Mulaney as Chip Hawkins, and Shane Gillis in an undisclosed role. So I know people were weirded out when the first trailer came out with Nicolas Cage as Madden.
There was that, and then the stuff going on with David O. Russell to begin with, him and just as a filmmaker coming out, like there was a lot of controversy about him, but
I mean, it's an interesting movie, and like, I'm curious to see how Nick Cage does it, and he's had a good year. Spider Noir came out, and that's been a big success. And if this movie does well, I feel like it'll do well on Prime because it's straight to DVD. It's a straight streaming movie. It's going to be people going to be watching it and curious. Madden is a very popular franchise.
It's kind of perfect timing because it's football and Thanksgiving.
Football. Yep. And
so
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is Madden. Like, what else? What else should you want?
And if you watch that with the family on Thanksgiving, just imagine you eating your turkey while you watch Nicolas Cage on the screen.
But hey, this will be an interesting end of the year. That he's got Across the Spider-Verse next year.
Yeah, that's
or
very
Beyond
true.
the Spider-Verse. Oh, sorry, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Yes,
that is very true. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll probably check out this movie. I'll be curious to see how this goes.
Oh, we'll see how it turns out. All right. In my final piece of news. More casting news to come from Deadline. This, again, article comes from Justin Kroll and Rosie Cordo, if I said that last name correctly. Bailey Madison and Dion Cole join Grown Ups 3 at Netflix. Bailey Madison and Dion Cole are set to join the ensemble cast of the upcoming Netflix comedy Grown Ups 3 starring Adam Sandler. In addition to Sandler, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Chris Rock, Kevin James, and Salma Hayek are set to return for the threequel.
I'm surprised Rob Schneider is coming back because I thought he was persona non grata.
Yeah. Netflix announced at its upfronts this past May that the third film would be moving forward with Kyle Neutschek directing. Neutschek had previously worked on Sandler's projects, including Happy Gilmore 2, yikes, and one of the biggest streaming titles of last year, which is set at Nielsen record with 2.89 billion minutes viewed in its first week. Script is by Sandler and Tim Headley. I totally mispronounced that name. Sandler and Jackie Sandler, Jack Garpicho, and the last guy I said earlier, Tim, will produce with Kevin Grady and Judith Mull executive producing. We don't have a release date yet, but I wanted to talk about this because they're actually filming in my hometown.
There you go.
Which is kind of cool. So they've been going to all the restaurants that like I go to in town. I was like, wait, I gotta.
You'd be like, "Where's my 8 Crazy Nights 2, you bastard?"
Oh God, yeah.
But I don't know. I did read about that report because I guess the synopsis is that they're going to be saying goodbye to a friend, and the theory is that it's going to be Cameron Boyce's character because she's like Adam Sandler was very close with Cameron Boyce because there's been
Remember that Jesse episode?
Yep. Now, that's the funny stuff. I just want to wait for like Gogman style.
And it became a TikTok meme.
But it seems like he wants to pay tribute to him like one more time in this movie, or at least something like that. So I don't know. The first Grown Ups I kind of like. It was like a little charming. I don't like the second one. I don't care.
The second one is so dumb.
But I guess
why did it exist?
I guess this is a way for them to finally have a movie together because they haven't done a movie all together in years. Actually, they've been very like fragmented.
They've done like separate things. Like I know Kevin has worked with Sandler, and Chris is obviously good friends with Sandler. They did a Netflix movie. It was like a wedding movie too that they did. I forgot what it was called, but I remember watching it when it came out at the time. This was like I think a really big like ensemble movie to come from Sandler because I know he's known for that, with Happy Gilmore 2. Then he did that with that very, very bad cowboy movie that came out years and years ago.
The Ridiculous Six with The Ridiculous Six because Taylor Lautner was in it.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner was in it, and Shaquille, I think.
Shaquille O'Neal was in it. Yes.
Yes. There was a lot.
Well, think about it now. Adam Sandler is so established with Netflix now. I think he has.
They're never letting him go. I don't think.
Well, he's found his niche with it because I think he realizes that a lot of the movies you release in theaters they're not going to do well, so you lose money. But then Netflix can front you the money, and even if your movie isn't do well, you can still have a good viewership.
People will tune in with the viewer, even if they don't watch the entire movie. They'll just be like, "All right, maybe I watched like 40 minutes of it." But
Happy Gilmore 2,
Yeah, because
I didn't watch that, but I know people really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it. I thought it was ridiculous and an unnecessary sequel, and it just forgot the legacy of the first one, I think, in my opinion, but, I don't know what the hell Benny Safdie was doing in that movie. Money. But yeah, we're
But
getting a
that's
Happy Gilmore 3.
let us know in the comments. Did you like Happy Gilmore 3, Grown Ups 3? You excited for Grown Ups 3? Do you like Hubie Halloween? Do you like any Adam Sandler movies? Let us know. I'm joking. I like Adam Sandler movies. I was just watching The
I,
Longest
I
Yard.
think I think people like the Adam Sandler from like the late 90s to early 2000s. That's the thing. And the Uncut Gems. Other than that,
And Hustle. Hustle's pretty good.
oh yeah, and Hustle's very good too.
See, there's the thing about Adam Sandler, even like recently, I feel like he's kind of gone through a renaissance. It's like with Hustle and Uncut Gems. Like if he locks in more with that, then I'm like, okay, bet I want more of these movies like that.
I think that's what just people want from him, and then he just produces just whatever. I think
I
that
always will
is nostalgia bait.
I'll always defend Punch Drunk Love. I think it's one of the best romantic.
That's so good. I love that.
And movie. I'll never forgive him for wanting to promote 8 Crazy Nights to that movie.
I love Punch Drunk Love. When they just did the Criterion sale, and I know that's one of the titles that they had available. That was one of the ones I picked up, but the whole front cover was scratched. And that was the only copy they had left. So I was like, I had to leave it because I want a nice condition if I'm going to pay a good price. So, Punch Drunk Love, love that movie. I wish that movie gets more credit for Adam Sandler's performance because, at the time, that was the people were saying that's his movie, if you want to see Adam Sandler act.
It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. See, that's
yeah,
weird.
That's when he was
new.
And it was like, he was cooking with that movie, and then he delivered There Will Be Blood and, all the other stuff. And then he won an Academy Award.
There you go.
All right.
If you got any news for us, make sure you drop it out in the comments below what we may have missed or anything like that. We'll probably have a lot more news coming out, especially we got D23 coming up next week too.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get to the topic. So we rock. Camp Rock.
You're going to Camp Rock. Be the first to see the Jonas Brothers in a sneak peek of the all-new Disney Channel original movie, Camp Rock. Mark your calendars for Disney Channel's 040608. It all starts Sunday, April 6th at 1:40, 12:40 Central on Disney Channel.
All right, so the topic today, in celebration of the newest entries in the series, which has been 16 years in the making, we decided to go back to 2008 and review, at the time, what was the 73rd Disney Channel original movie, Camp Rock, directed by Matthew Diamond, and it stars Demi Lovato, Joe Jonas, Megan Martin, Maria Canales-Barrera, Daniel Fowlers, and Allison Stoner. And it also has the other Jonas Brothers too, as well. Nick and Joe are also in it. I'm sorry, Nick and Kevin are in it. Kevin, Nick, and Joe. Yep, there we go. And the plot of it is a aspiring teenage singer, Mitchie Torres, played by Demi Lovato, visits Camp Rock, a summer music camp.
Yeah.
So this was a big deal when this came out. When everyone, because this was the height of the Jonas Brothers, or I'd say this during their height.
It was height. Yeah, it was height.
So a film starring all three of them, and Demi Lovato was on the rise too, because this is right before we got Sunny with a Chance.
Yes, and this was her first movie. So because we know her from Barney and stuff. So this was her first movie that she was going to be starring in, and had the lead role.
Yeah.
And 2008 was such a big year for film, but also for the Jonas Brothers, because the year before, that's when they released their 2007 album, which had SOS, the iconic SOS.
Does it have that song I love, the year 3000?
That was them, but that was on their 2006 album.
Okay, that's the one I like because they played that on Disney Channel all the time.
Yeah, that was their song. But did you know they originally didn't write it?
I'm not surprised.
It was sung by another band.
Shocking.
And then they, were able to get the rights to sing it, and then became the hit.
I know Busted. They did I like that song Reunion. But actually, Camp Rock, so the time of its premiere came out June 2008. And it is currently the third highest viewed Disney Channel original movie of all time, behind High School Musical 2 and Wizards of Waverly Place.
those, not gonna lie, those are like really good decoms. Especially High School Musical too. Oh my
I say,
God,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
like the
I will defend
GOAT.
High School Musical 2 as like the best one in the series.
It
It
is the
is
best
unironically,
one.
it is unironically a good.
It's the best one. And it's funny you bring up Wizards because they just aired the finale of the Wizards spinoff series that they did with, some of the original cast, returning for that. But for the Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato for a time in 2008, this was big, and for Disney Channel it was big because you had Jonas Brothers, Demi, uh, you had Hannah Montana, High School Musical going on at the same time. Then you had Selena Gomez. Like there were so many people that I would just like watch on Disney Channel. This was like prime time Disney Channel. Like, with these stars, and I was growing up with them. It was really, really something to be a Disney Channel viewer during that time. It was just something so like not just comforting, it was just an interesting time because everything was just a hit anytime you turned on the Disney Channel. And during 2008, there was only like there was High School Musical, but then there was also Minutemen that was also released,
Oh, Minutemen
and
was the
Cheetah Girls.
shit.
I love Minutemen. That was the like that's like a decom that never gets enough credit. Like I'm
Uh,
gonna say it. I love that one, and I love the Corbin Blue song that's in it. Mix it
yes.
up, get it right, go for another, try it to run it back again. Oh, that's such a good song. What was I gonna say? And then there was the Cheetah Girls One World. So there was only two good movies that came out from the decoms that year that I will say. But anyways, getting into Camp Rock. Um, you were in elementary school, you told me, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So I'll be
I
honest with
was
you.
in middle school.
I didn't watch. So when it comes to perspective, I was aware of Camp Rock, but I was more like I said, this is 2008. Like I was aware of Camp Rock, but I was still riding the high of High School Musical 2, and it was like they would rerun that like every time.
Oh yeah.
I remember Camp Rock was coming out. I was like, okay, like I wasn't really into like this, like I don't know, something about it didn't really click with me when I first like saw it, like the trailers for it. Cause like, okay, I'm like, because I'm like, I wasn't like a big Jonas Brothers fan. Like
Mhm.
I like Jonas Brothers. But I'm about to say like I've never been like a fan of them. I remember this like
Right.
because this right after this movie they got their own show. I remember that all that, but like I was like I saw marketing. I was like okay, so I watched like a couple. I remember when I first tried to watch it, I got bored and turned the channel.
Mhm.
And then like I remember I went to school and there was the people who were like, "Oh, did you see Camp Rock?" And I was like, "What's Camp Rock?" And then like you always tell when a film's popular just when you go to the store, you see a lot of merchandising. And if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
this movie had like a lot of merchandising.
Oh yeah. That was like prime Disney as well. Like they had the music, the backpacks, the pencils, the t-shirts, everything. It was everything for Disney to do all that merchandising, and they knew they had a hit. So we got to get into the film itself though. Um, so like you said, Demi Lovato, Joe Jonas. Demi Lovato plays Mitchie, who's that inspiring songwriter, musician. She gets into Camp Rock because her mom decides, all right, let me see if I can get my daughter in. She gets in, but she is helping her mom with the catering. So she's kind of seen like I think as like the outsider, in my opinion,
Yeah,
like because she's like the new girl to this camp because there's everybody knows each other from this camp because they come back every year. And Debbie's like, okay, well, how am I gonna fit in, find my group, get people to like me? She kind of lies about herself. She's not true to herself to a degree. She's still herself, but she's like, oh, my mom, she's the president of Hot Tunes China, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then her mom's working in the kitchen, which people don't know, so she's lying about herself, but also wants to fit in with everybody. She gets to know Shane Gray, who is played by Joe Jonas, and Demi Lovato just wants. I keep calling her Demi. I should call her Mitchie. Mitchie sees Shane as like somebody who should not treat people in a bad manner because he's playing the bad boy spoiled pop star, and he goes back to Camp Rock to
Yeah.
find himself, or is like what Kevin said, it's where Connect 3 connected.
Okay, so yeah, because this is just for perspective with it. The Jonas Brothers are playing like a fictional versions of themselves. Like they are in the Camp Rock world, they are a trio, and they are back at Camp Rock because that's where they started. Just for context.
Hold on, I had to turn on the lights. Sorry, I got like so dark in here. Okay, so it cut out.
I said, just for context, the Jonas Brothers in this movie, they are playing like a fictionalized version of themselves as like what are their Mr. Band name? The three?
Connect 3.
Connect 3. So it's pretty much just the Jonas Brothers, just not being the Jonas Brothers. So they go back to Camp Rock, but they are famous with that.
Yeah. So they go off of that. Nick plays Nate, Kevin plays Jason, the other guys, they don't even acknowledge that they're brothers. It's just like the band formed at Camp Rock. That's why the famous line, Connect 3 connected. There's a lot of famous lines in this one DCOM in particular, because that's where Connect 3 connected. There's Whatever Major Loser, which is what Tess does, the villain in the story played by Megan Jeanette Martin. And then there's also at the famous Pajama Jam where Allison Stoner is doing the keyboard.
Oh my God,
and then Demi Lovato goes, she's really good. So like a lot of, and did you know Allison Stoner improvised that piano part?
Really?
Yeah, this is so funny. I made a TikTok video about it, guys. Fun facts about Camp Rock. Go check it out.
Allison Stoner, shout out to her because she was in Cheaper by the Dozen in the Step Up franchise. And also, that's Isabella from Phineas and Ferb. What you doing?
Yeah. Oh, and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, too.
Yep.
Yeah. Allison Stoner was like one of the primetime Disney kids, too, like starring in a lot of supporting roles. But did you know that Taylor Lautner auditioned for the role of Shane Gray?
Oh my God, really?
I'm not kidding. He auditioned, didn't get the part. It went to Joe Jonas, obviously. But I also mentioned this in my TikTok, but this would have been the second movie that him and Allison Stoner would have starred in together, because they were in Cheaper by the Dozen 2 together.
Oh man, the amount of stuff I've read about Taylor Lautner auditioning for it that like kind of shocked me. Like, remember that movie? Remember Max Steel, a movie I bring up every other time?
God.
Originally, I read that he actually was cast as Max Steel.
Now he's like a podcast host and doing a lot of social media, and then talking about going on Dancing with Stars. His wife is pregnant. They're gonna have a little baby. I'm excited for them. I listen to the Squeeze every once in a while.
What's the last big film he did? Wasn't it like Abduction? He did with
No, that was The Ridiculous Six.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Okay, that's even further. I can't imagine.
There was The Home Team. I think which was a Kevin James movie, which I watched which also wasn't.
Oh, that was that was the Shop 8 one. But
yeah, that was.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because I will say one thing with Camp Rock that actually works is that I think that Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas actually have really good chemistry together.
They do have good chemistry. That's why they dated, even though it didn't work out.
Yeah, I forgot they did it.
Yeah, they have some history. The Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato have history. I mean, got to see it even last year when I saw them at MetLife doing that little rendition. That was like the moment. And I remember us talking about Camp Rock last year too, about the potentials of their film. Now here we are talking about it. But going into some things, this movie goes about finding your voice, staying true to yourself, and going for your best shot, not being afraid, being your true self. That's why we have "This is real, this is me,"
Oh god, that was everywhere. Because like, remember, this was the era of Disney when they had the what was it? The Disney music videos. They'd always play that one.
Yeah, they always had to play like a Disney song when there was commercials. Like they had to play one, and you had to jam out while there was commercials before it tuned back into Wizards of Waverly Place.
Because you always go, we rock, Camp Rock.
We rock. Oh, every time the only downside to Camp Rock is that when I think of Camp Rock nowadays, I always think of that stupid little I'm doing the gestures around me, and it's like the little thing from the sequel.
Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
know, the little dance where they're walking around to see the other camp, like they act all tough with that. You would all probably know what I'm talking about. And it's like they were doing it on TikTok for a little bit,
Uh,
and they were like recreating the steps for it. Like I don't know what kind of dance it's called, but um there was that. But one of my favorite lines in Camp Rock 2 is like one of the characters gets really into it when they were talking about s'mores. Because my sister and I will quote it every once in a while. We go, crackers.
oh my god.
It's so funny how the guy delivers it, because this is a guy who barely talks in the first film, and then he has
Uh,
barely any lines in the sequel, and he just crackers. It's so funny. Oh, but anyways, going back to this, let's get into the music, because the music is obviously the big part in here. There's not a lot. I shouldn't say that. There is a lot of music in this one.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite song in particular besides
We
the
rock,
iconic
we rock.
rock,
That's
we
really it.
rock?
That's all I like.
Okay, so I want to acknowledge the songs because I was rewatching it and I was like, oh yeah, this one girl who sings who's got what it takes to be my God, what it takes. I know all these songs because I had the CD, guys. I have the CD still.
Uh,
Um now I have it on my thing. Where is it? That's Start the Party. No, I don't want that one. What it takes. Her name is Erin Doyle. She only sings once and only is in the beginning of the film.
uh,
And then we never see her again. And then there is also like there's just like a lot of people who will just show up for one scene and then will just like disappear. Like Erin Doyle. Erin Doyle comes up again at the very end of the film for that post-credit scene that was cut for Camp Rock. And the girls sing Our Time Is Here. Great
uh,
song, by the way. But she's only in that. And then she also shows up again when she's spying on Joe Jonas to like uh be like, oh, I'm looking for the girl with the voice. And she just walks past and she sings as like Joe is like sleeping. So she's only in that. And then Demi's friend, who I forgot, is only at the beginning of the film and just gives her the idea to, say, oh, like I got an A or I passed Mandarin or something like that. She's like saying, and Mitch, that's where Mitchie gets the idea of like, oh, I could just say my mom is, president of Honduras, China. And like, she's only in that. And then the dad is only in the very beginning where Mitchie finds out she's going to Camp Rock. And then at the very end at Final Jam, that's it. We don't see the dad. He's not helping out at anything. We don't, Debbie does not make a call to be like, hey, dad, this is what's going on at Camp Rock, even though it wasn't necessary. He's only in that film, a part of it. Who else? Then there's Jordan Francis and Rashawn Fagan. Rashawn Fagan was in Shake It Up.
check it
And
out.
Rashawn Fagan also had some just weird lines that just were like, okay, you're here. And then I want to get into going back to the songs. We have Start the Party, also sung by Jordan Francis. That scene with Joe teaching a dance class, I was like, Joe can't, Joe, no, Joe, no. Like, and everybody was so perfectly in sync with that. I was like, they were all sent an email, I'm sure, of
Was
like
it
how to
Kevin
do
the
the stuff.
Was it Kevin the one teaching a popsicle to make a popsicle?
Yeah, he was doing the that was in the sequel. They were doing the arts
Okay.
and crafts.
That
in the
one was
sequel.
fun. That one made me laugh
Because he wanted his birdhouse.
Yeah.
In the first film, he's like, I gotta get my birdhouse. Then they brought it back for the sequel. Who knows? I hope they bring it up as an acknowledgement in the third film, because in the second film, Frankie Jonas is in that movie too.
That's right.
They Start the Party. I love the other songs like Gotta Find You. Play My Music is my favorite song from that film. And I also really like the Megan Martin songs because Too Cool. Like it's it's not lyrically great, but do you know what? It's so Sharpay coded from High
Oh,
School
look!
Musical,
Look
at
what came
least
out
to me.
year before.
Yes, it's giving fabulous and too cool. It's like, I'm too cool for you. And then you look and I want fabulous. And it's like, oh my God, this is like, no wonder I liked this when I was a kid because they both are like very similar. You know, they're like, Tess, is the blonde mean girl. Show was Sharpay. She was the mean girl. They each had their crush. Tess wanted to get with, Shane Gray. Sharpay wanted to get with Troy. And it's like, they were pretty, they had nice wardrobe, they were fashion, there was like, they had this attitude, like, not nice girls, but do you know what? You vibed with them. You vibed with them. You get their vision,
Yeah,
you get it. So, but I'm a too cool fan. I like that song. Even 2 stars when she sings it. But I noticed that Megan Martin does a lot of voiceover work for video games, which is
yes, she
interesting.
does.
Have you played any of the games that she
Until
has?
Dawn and Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
She was
okay.
Jessica in Until Dawn.
Okay.
So great game. And the remake and the new one, and Kingdom Hearts 2. But yeah, no, I just think that I don't know. There's just something very interesting with Camp Rock. It's just like I feel like now I'm starting to see people give it its flowers now because it's like, oh, it's one of the Disney, it's one of the big three, the highest rated movies, reviewed movies, everything like that. And I don't know, it's weird because I guess I hear people talk about this in High School Musical 2 than the Wizard of Waverly Place movie. Like I know, like Wizard of Waverly Place is like the second highest viewed movie, but I barely hear anyone talk about that movie anymore.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I remember it, but I don't like. Is it
There's
so?
some like distinct ones like High School Musical, Camp Rock. There is, Teen Beach Movie, even though it came out like right after I basically stopped watching Disney Channel or like started to, really phase that out. And I was just like, that's just not my vibe.
But hey, listen, Camp
Yeah.
Rock never had a theatrical movie because at least
No, they
High School
didn't.
Musical 3 got big enough where it had the theatrical movie for the last one.
No, yeah, it did. And my husband was like, that's a Disney Channel original movie, right? Like High School Musical 3. I was like, no, it is not. It
No,
had a theatrical release. It was released by Walt Disney Pictures. Get it right.
which is crazy to me because I was like, damn, that really shows you how popular like that second, like the first two movies were. Where like we have to capitalize on this. And like I said, Camp Rock, because like by the time the second one came out, Jonas Brothers were like still at their peak.
Yeah, they
Or
were still at their peak. And
Demi
then
Lovato started with Sunny with a Chance, and she was getting her peak too.
that was like, and she was going through a rough time, and that was like 2010 because when Camp Rock 2 came out, there was Demi Lovato and Jonas Brothers went on tour. There was like some drama going on with that. It was a rough time for Demi. Glad she's doing well now. But I do want to bring up something from the camprockfandom.com. Does somebody put this in the note, I guess, in the one of the sections? It says, following the critics' lines of comparison to High School Musical, Jennifer Frey of the Washington Post said that Camp Rock's music is in the same easy to memorize dance inspiring mood as the previous franchise, but not as catchy. I think for me, certain songs were catchy. Certain songs were catchy, like Play My Music was very catchy. This Is Me, a lot of people of my age rocked out to that. Too Cool and 2 stars, but like I get what this critic was saying, because High School Musical I feel like is more theatrical than
Uh-huh.
Camp Rock. You know, there's more elaborate numbers in High School Musical than there are in Camp Rock. Not saying that there were like elaborate numbers, especially when we get to the final jam. There's guys like on the trampolines, there's mirrors, and they do that we rock with with the hands, rock and roll at the ends at the very end. So like there's numbers doing with that, and they have the dance number that Joe is teaching. I still can't get over that stupid dance class. But I get what she's saying. Daily News, David Hinnicky agreed, saying that the songs don't feel as fresh. Disagree with that. The film is specifically designed to ride on the success of the previous one, but he praised the formula that goes back to the animated Disney classics of the past decade and called it catchy and fun, a rock steady Disney hit. So Haneke also praised the talent and performances of the leads, Joe Jonas and Lovato.
There you go.
So that's what critics had to say. I think it speaks to, I guess, like, because those are obviously older people at the time who reviewed, all these DComs. I think for our generation, Mac, and, Gen Z and millennials, they understand the appeal. They understand the importance of Camp Rock, and why it's so beloved compared to like people who reviewed it 16 years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we talked about the Hannah Montana movie, because I like it's interesting to go back and read what critics had to say about it at the time, because I don't think they get it because it's not made for 20 mid to 25-year-olds of 2008. It's made for children from like 6 to 16. There's like a that market that they were looking for. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it's definitely just that era of it because, like, even like nowadays, like the Disney Channel original movies, they just lack that hype with it. Like, this
Yeah,
is
especially when
just
you look at it now, because I would have to say after Teen Beach Movie and I would say after Descendants, I think Disney kind of lost its footing because they were losing our generation and didn't know how to gear it towards the current generation that was like so stuck to YouTube and watching all, the Mr. Beast and, what is it, Playtime with Ryan? Is that what they call it? I don't even remember.
oh
And
yeah,
Coco Melon and all, whatever is out. I don't know. You know, they had to, compete with that. And they had, they still had Disney Channel original movies. Like they redid, Freaky Friday and that, like what we had, no, we didn't talk about Freaky Friday on here. They were Freaky Friday and they did it as a musical, remember? And they did like almost like a hangover sleepover movie that came out like years ago, and I was like, what is this?
interesting.
And yeah, it was like really weird. Like I don't remember what the movie was exactly called, but Disney was losing its footing and they were still getting into the time of like where streaming was becoming the thing. And then they had some success last year with, a very Jonas Brothers Christmas,
We did talk about that too.
which we did talk about. So now they're finding their success going back to some old school roots because they had that really successful high when they did High School Musical, the musical, the series, because obviously it brought, some stars to the table like Joshua Bassett and Olivia Rodrigo, of course. And now we're going to see how it plays out when it comes to High School Musical 3. Not High School Musical 3, Camp Rock 3. I'm going off. I feel like I'm going tennis back and forth saying these names.
I will say it's curious because Demi Lovato's character is not in Camp Rock 3. She is a producer though. So
She is an executive producer, but I did see something that
so
I think she might make a cameo.
Yeah. But who knows? Well, it's exciting. We'll see how Camp Rock 3 goes out. If you want classic nostalgia, if you want to go to this DCOM watch, give Camp Rock a watch. It was pretty fun. But
it's fun.
I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. I mean,
we got a great Camp Rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. I'll give it a B plus.
I'll give it the same grade. I'll give it a B, B plus. I mean, High School Musical still a big part of my heart. Do I still enjoy a good Camp Rock movie? Yes. But only Camp Rock. Camp Rock 2 does not exist in my book.
Oh, you don't like Camp Rock 2?
Oh, God. I hate Camp Rock 2. Oh, God. I don't think they knew what they were doing. They were like, let's just scramble this together and call it the Final Jam. How could you call it the Final Jam when it's only the sequel, right? Like, I was like so baffled at the time when they called it the Final Jam. And I was like,
they fucking lied to you.
I know. I was like, you're going to come back eventually. And, 16 years later, here we are.
Right.
But anyways, do you want to wrap it up?
But yeah, no, that's gonna do it. Maybe the Final Jam won't be the Final Jam after all.
I love how you went into that.
But yeah, there's Camp Rock, and that's been our episode. Let us know in the comments below. What was your favorite Disney Channel original movie? Mine was probably Luck of the Irish.
Luck of the Irish is good.
Or Eddie's Big Cook-Off.
Eddie's Big Cook-Off is great.
Or Max Keeble's Big Move.
Max Keeble wasn't in a Disney Channel original movie.
Are you sure?
I am very positive. You want to look it up real quick?
It is a Disney Channel movie.
Max Keeble's Big Move?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see.
Or it's the Walt Disney Pictures. Close enough.
Yeah, because I was like, I remember buying this movie on VHS right after it came out.
Close enough. It bombed the box office and became a Disney Channel original movie. If you bomb the box office, you get a second life on Disney Channel.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah. But guys, that was our episode. We're gonna be talking Spider-Man.
Yes.
Next time.
I'm excited.
Brand new day. And it's like the biggest movie in the world right now. People are loving it and seeing it. Some people are seeing it twice and are seeing it in IMAX. So exciting things happening going on for Spider-Man and the MCU. And then we're also going to eventually, I assume, review Ice Cream Man.
Yes,
Question mark. Because I found out I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it anymore. It's not playing the theaters close by to me.
No, the means I have to travel to find it.
Yep. Alrighties, guys, but I think that's been our episode, right?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out this episode on all your streaming platforms and check out our last episode as well, too. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, donate to our Patreon below. Make sure you check us out. Hit us up with topic ideas, too. And stay classy, everyone. I'm your host, Mac. Join here, as usual, with Kristen. And you've been listening to the M&K Productions Podcast. Peace.
Bye.